What is up and welcome back. We are your Emerald Coast Relocation experts, Pete and Chelsea Sweeney. What we're going to be doing today is diving into the cost of living over in Gulf Breeze, Florida.
All right, let's go.
Real quick before we dive in, if you have not watched one of our cost of living videos, here's how we go about it. What we do is we use the cost of living index where 100 is your national average. If it's above that, obviously it's more expensive. If it's below it, then it's cheaper than your national average. When we do break into the real estate, we are going to throw you some median sales prices. That way you do know get an idea of what you're going to spend on a home in Gulf Breeze, Florida.
Now, first thing we've got to do, which we actually don't know if this is true or if this is just kind of the talk of the land, is talk about how Gulf Breeze has a little bit of a rumor that this is kind of like the bougie area, okay?
The breezers, I guess we'll call breezers or something. Yeah.
I don't know. So Trent, obviously on our team, like he's grown up here and like, you know.
Well, it wasn't just him. We heard it, we were sitting at the bar on Pensacola Beach, and then like I was like, oh yeah, we just bought an investment property over there. He's like, oh, you guys are breezers. I was like, what does that mean? He's like, I guess Pensacola, like the proper area of Pensacola, they call anyone who's in Gulf Breeze the breezers.
Yeah, so we didn't know this going in. We're learning it now. We're not exactly sure how this transcribes, but we do have some numbers today that I think is kind of funny. What we're going to be doing is comparing Gulf Breeze to Florida overall, and then obviously Peter just told you about national average. So overall, Gulf Breeze is a 110, whereas Florida is a 103. So it is a little bit more expensive than say all of Florida, but the most important thing is how that breaks down. So we're going to go into several different categories.
Now let me throw a quick note on you with that overall, and like we're going to break into the home prices a little bit later on in this video, but I will tell you guys, before we moved into the Emerald Coast area, we were looking at other places. We're talking about like, you know, Sarasota, Cape Coral, all these areas. And I hate to say it, but houses were cheaper in Gulf Breeze as compared to those areas. So this overall, okay, we can see that. Let's see what those real estate numbers show to see if it really does show that it's more expensive to buy a house here as opposed to like say South Florida.
Let's talk about groceries. Now this I have definitely seen coming from when we moved from Colorado. When we go and buy groceries down at our other property outside Largo, it is a little bit cheaper. If we're looking at Gulf Breeze compared to Florida, Gulf Breeze is going to be a 107. Florida is going to be, it's 102.8, so almost 103. Now, 107, we've also done this all around Florida and some of the other places we have properties because we keep an eye on all the cost of livings there. 107 is actually kind of high in comparison to the grocery spot. We don't typically see grocery go up that high. Now, I really do attribute this to the fact that Gulf Breeze is smaller and we don't have as many options. So we have what? Publix, Winn-Dixie,
Walmart.
Is that it?
So I've talked about this on a few of our other cost of living videos, and here's the rule of thumb that I'm kind of seeing every time that we look at Destin, Fort Walton, Navarre, Pensacola Beach, all these places. As soon as you cross the bay, right, and come over to the little peninsula, I guess that's what, you know, the whole area where you got all these different Emerald Coast cities, the groceries do get a little bit more expensive. I'm guessing, just looking at basic economics, travel to come across as opposed to just delivering in the mainland. You probably have a lot more distribution centers. Over in the mainland, it's like, God, I gotta cross the dang bridge in order to deliver groceries here. That might have something that factors into it. Or it might just be the fact that you don't have many options, just like Chelsea said. So it's like, hey, they don't have many options, so why don't we just boost the prices up a little bit? But groceries are a little bit more expensive. Rule of thumb I've always seen is as soon as you cross that bay, that's what you're gonna expect.
Now, this is showing different though when you get into the health world. So when you're looking at Gulf Breeze, it's 98. When you're looking at Florida overall, it's gonna be 102. I have recently been getting the kids, you know, a pediatric clinic and trying to get established with all of our health things. And I will say we actually have quite a bit of options in this Gulf Breeze area. So that is really nice. And the fact that it's a little bit more affordable, how we get away with that, not exactly sure, but I am not arguing against it one bit.
Well, and then you mentioned something too, how our insurance is accepted in more places in Gulf Breeze than Colorado. Like we're from Denver, Colorado. and we had a hard time finding these clinics based off our insurance. And so you said that it was so much more accepting of insurance than Gulf Breeze.
Yeah, when I just recently called around, instead of having one place that I can go in each city where we were in Colorado, I had multiple places, and not only that, I had multiple providers. So that was nice that they had access to a lot of different health plans.
All right, now we're going to break into that housing. Actually, before we break into the housing, guys, if you are loving this content, can you do us a huge favor? Hit that subscribe button. Maybe give us a thumbs up, notification bell. That way you're notified every single time that we put out a brand new video. If you are looking at purchasing real estate here in the free state of Florida, give us a call or text the phone number right below. Right below, right there, we answer. It doesn't matter date or time. Now, let's break into that housing, that real estate, right? So when we talk about these housing in regards to the cost of living, this also incorporates your rentals as well. But this might be why that price in Gulf Breeze, the overall, is higher. If you're looking at housing in Gulf Breeze, it's a 138.1. Where Florida is just almost level with the national average, it's right at a 101.1. So yes, it is a little bit more expensive with housing in Gulf Breeze as compared to the state of Florida.
The other thing to keep in mind is because we are on that body of land, you will have houses that go to either the bay or the sound. We do have kind of that waterfront properties all the way around. We do have those waterfront properties all the way around that are going to be bringing into the $1 million price point, which could be driving up some of these housing prices. I don't always pull rental prices for you guys, but because it was so telling in comparison to say Pensacola to Gulf Breeze, I did want to pull you some stats, so I'm going to read just a couple for you. So a 1-bedroom apartment, if you're going to rent it, in Gulf Breeze it's renting at $1,410, and over in Pensacola it's at $1,000. That's $400 more just by crossing over the bridge. Now say you're looking at a 2-bedroom, it's going to be $1,630 versus $1,170. So as you get bigger into the houses, the rent actually shows a bigger difference from Pensacola to Gulf Breeze.
All right, now let's go ahead and break into those median sales prices, guys. And how we like to do this is where we, first things first, is we do like both of them. So we got your attached and your detached products all lumped into one sum. There you got a median sales price of $445,000. Let's break that into your single family. Your single family is actually only 5 over. You're looking at a median sales price of $450,000. The reason that I think these two numbers are so close is there's not as much attached products in Gulf Breeze as say somewhere like Pensacola. You just don't have it. Majority of it is your single family homes. Now what are you looking at? If you're looking at purchasing unattached, so your condos, townhouses, and row homes within Gulf Breeze, you're looking at a median sales price of $385, which I'm actually surprised that it's not a little bit lower than that, but it is crazy to see. Like I said, Gulf Breeze is super desirable. It's one of those places that everyone wants to be. It's easy to get close to the water, even if you're not on the water, and so that's why I could see real estate being a little bit more expensive as opposed to Pensacola. Now let's go and break into utilities. So what does it cost to heat and or cool your house? If we're looking over in Gulf Breeze, you're looking at a 105.3. Over in Florida, you're looking at a 101.3. So a little bit more expensive in regards to do this. We will also say that the utilities are super chaotic in Gulf Breeze. We're like, wait, I gotta call who? Because if you're improper, you're using something completely different as opposed to like the unincorporated area of Gulf Breeze.
Don't worry, we will help you out with that if you use this for real estate, because when we were setting up, because we have 2 houses in Gulf Breeze, when we were setting this up, guys, let me tell you, it was the most confusing thing. And then I was like, you know what? Give me a map. Just give me a map. I'll figure it out. Oh God, that map. Like, I'm gonna make my own map. I'm gonna color code it for you guys because I've never been more confused when setting up utility. This topic I'm really excited about, and I hope I'm right as to why there's a huge difference, which is transportation. Transportation in Gulf Breeze is 88. Florida is gonna be a 112.6, so almost 113. Now, one of our most favorite things about Gulf Breeze, well, especially in unincorporated.
Yeah, this is the incorporated side that we're talking about. I'm not sure how much improper you really have this. But.
Yeah, but 98 is kind of like the main drive-through, but the main road that drives through town. And south, it's not south, is it? It's got to be west. You have to keep in mind we came from Colorado, so the mountains were west, and you never get turned around. But when you're in Florida, depending on where you are, I'm like totally thrown off. But anyways, everything south of 98 is golf cart community, guys. Everyone drives a golf cart everywhere, which I'm pretty sure Peter is most excited about that.
Yeah, so we had 2 cars when we were in Colorado, and we went down to 1 car and a golf cart. Because guess what? It's like if I need to pick something up at Home Depot, boom, just blast a golf cart over there. Got an awesome golf cart. And
I can't. I've got it floored. Well, come to the woods.
so now we're a 1 car, 1 golf cart family.
Yeah, and it's funny too because we're not the only ones with golf cart, guys. Everyone takes their kids to school in the golf cart. We see all of our friends. We're like, oh hey, like it's a thing. and it's actually really, really nice.
Well, this is a big reason why we chose the unincorporated version of Gulf Breeze, because it's like, yeah, you can have the golf cart. It's not quite as hectic as Proper is, where, you know, when 98 first turns around and goes through Gulf Breeze. It gets crazy over there with all the schools and stuff and the traffic, and so that's why we chose over here. Like, the golf cart was a big determining factor.
Now, if we're talking about miscellaneous, this is going to kind of be your groceries, your shopping, I mean, really just eating out.
Pretty much all the stuff outside of the stuff that we already talked about.
Shopping, eating out, you know, if going out and having fun, okay? In Gulf Breeze, it's a 105.4, whereas all of Florida is a 97. So that is a big significant change. I think things are just a little bit more expensive the closer you get to the water, and I think most people know that. So I think that kind of accounts for, even when you just go across the bridge over to Pensacola Beach, it increases again for food.
Yeah, I mean, here's the biggest thing. We don't have a huge mall, right? So there's no mall in Gulf Breeze. You got to pretty much go over into Pensacola. Not as much shopping.
Right.
The restaurants are pretty limited. You know, you don't have, like, usually when we go out to eat, we go to Pensacola Beach, you know, or we go into Pensacola. So we don't have too many spots. I mean, we love Pedro's. Pedro's is amazing.
Pedro.
Yeah.
He says pretty limited, but let's be real. Coming from a big city and then going to Gulf Breeze, like,
We're used to having everything just at our fingertips. Like, we're like right next to Top Golf. We're right next to 2 malls, and and we just weren't used to that. And actually, that's kind of why we did move into Gulf Breeze, because it has a small town feel. You don't have all those conveniences, and it's a little bit less chaotic kind of being in an area like this.
Makes it a lot easier to find your favorites, because now we have all of our favorites around town, and you support local, and it's just nice. All right, we have given you the cost of living on a number of different scales and categories. If you like videos like this, would you do us a favor and hit the subscribe button, as well as give us a thumbs up, because the thumbs up, guys, if you're liking this, it gives us an idea of what type of videos you guys like, so that we know how to put out these videos for you. Also, hit the notification bell, because as we put out new videos, you'll get notified every single time.
And of course, guys, if you are looking at purchasing real estate in the Emerald Coast, free state of Florida, give us a call or text the phone number right below. Right below, right there, we answer. It doesn't matter day or time. Till next time, we love you. Bye.
Bye.